You know, I had you muted. All right, guys, welcome back. So some of you may have heard, in which case this is, well, coming as no surprise, but we are moving to Los Angeles. We announced that yesterday. We're building a studio there, and we asked for your support yesterday. We're running a Kickstarter over at Indiegogo.com. We started with $25,000 as our goal, mostly just to cover startup costs, things like equipment purchases, furniture, relocation costs, things along those lines, sort of those one-time startup expenses. We weren't looking for you guys to fully fund our studio, but you've been very generous, and in one day, we've already exceeded our goal. So we were like, all right, we got to set an even bigger goal, and we're doing that here today. So before we do that, for those who aren't familiar with what our Kickstarter is all about, we're going to quickly play the video that we used for it. You can check all this out, hear more about our plans, as well as our stretch goals, which is what we're going to discuss next, over at BeyondTheSummit.tv. Of course, by the way, I'm LD. He's Gods. We're David and David. Stay tuned. Enjoy the Kickstarter video.
Hi Kickstarter, I'm David Parker.
And I'm David Gorman.
Together, we are Beyond the Summit. Beyond the Summit is a grassroots esports organization.
We run and broadcast some of the best Dota 2 events in the world.
But we started as community casters a year ago.
When the International 2 came last August, it changed everything.
Thousands of fans roaring tends to have that effect.
Now, we want to make our event coverage just as good.
Unfortunately, we're a few $1 million short.
Still, we're determined to create a better product for you.
Our goal? To create awesome Dota 2 content for you guys full-time, as a fully sustainable business.
That's why we're doing this Kickstarter. With your help, we're going to create the Beyond the Summit Studio.
When it comes to LD and Gods, I can't stress enough how lucky we are to have them in Dota 2. Their work on Beyond the Summit shows a level of passion and enthusiasm that can't be faked or taught, and it would be a huge mistake to take it for granted.
Beyond the Summit will probably mean something different to each and every person out there, but for myself, it simply means the best way to experience competitive Dota from the comfort of my home.
Beyond the Summit means... Knock knock. Anybody home?
Beyond the Summit to me means synergy between professional casting and a good dose of humor.
Well, it's a wild old time. That's what Beyond the Summer means to me. It's a snow day in an internet blizzard of shit.
So what do I do when I want to watch good Asian Dota and understand it? We go to Beyond the Summit.
Beyond the Summit to me is like watching a time machine to see what the European teams will do in 3 weeks.
Beyond the Summit 是我值得信赖的伙伴。想看第5届 G1 冠军联赛，就一定要跟随 LD 和 Gods 的声音，锁定 Beyond the Summit。
When I heard Gods and LD wanted to do a Kickstarter, I had no choice but to come on and tell you you should give them money for whatever it is that they're doing. Whatever it is. But do it.
Your support will go to new studio equipment for our LA studio.
Such as computers, monitors, microphones, and mixers.
As well as travel and relocation costs. We have to get to LA to build a studio there.
Sadly, studios don't grow on trees, so even after we get there, there's still a lot of work to be done, like soundproofing, painting, ventilation, and networking.
We also want to work with more talented community members to step up our production value.
Such as video editors, graphics designers, even co-casters.
So many hungry mouths to feed.
And all money raised past our goal will go directly towards our first organized event. No community can match the passion of Dota 2 fans. That's why Dota 2 is the best damn game in esports.
Beyond the Summit has grown incredibly over the past year, but we could never have achieved even a fraction of it without your support.
This is why we believe in growing a sustainable Dota 2 scene, because that same scene is the reason we're here talking to you today.
Over the past 10 months, we've shook hands with hundreds of you at tournaments crisscrossing the globe, from Seattle to Kuala Lumpur. We've spoken to thousands of you on community websites, and through the miracles of online broadcasting, we've connected with millions of you across the globe.
It's been a privilege for us to share our love of the game with you this past year, so thank you for checking out our Kickstarter page, and thank you for all your support.
The past year was an incredible experience for all of us, but it was only the beginning. We really hope you'll continue our journey with us into 2013.
All right, guys. So hopefully you have a better understanding of our sort of vision for the studio, why we're doing it, what we're all about for those who are a bit newer to be on the summit, and how we got started. Anyway, I'm LD, he's Gods, and Gods, we have exceeded our goal in 1 day, which I know I thought we would do pretty well, but never did I expect to see really the outpouring that we've seen from the community. And you're muted, so yeah, typical BTS stream. There you go.
Yeah. After just 3 hours, we'd already reached $10,000, and that was just 3 hours after we announced it. There were literally a couple of tears running down my face at that point. It was absolutely amazing. You guys, the response we got exceeded any of our expectations tenfold. It was, for us, we thought it was a realistic goal, a goal that we'd reach. I mean, that's why we set it there. We were confident we would, and we believed in the community, but we had no idea the community would be this amazing and want our studio and all our content to sort of take that next jump. And for that, we're just so thankful.
Yeah, so we have added stretch goals because there are a lot of people out there who still want to contribute, who still want to be a part of really building the studio. And so we have new goals, and we've made them ambitious because a lot of people have said they want to support us, they want to be involved, they want to know what their money is going towards. So we want to talk really quickly about that. We have 2 stretch goals. The first one is for $50,000. If we're able to reach that goal, we're going to run the G7 League. 7 is a lucky number over in China, in Asia, and we thought it was appropriate. It's going to be an Asian invitational tournament. We're going to pretty much get as many of the best teams together from Asia as we can. It'll be an online event. The format's something that we really focused on is never having a meaningless game on Beyond the Summit. So we try to avoid things like round robins and kind of drawn out group stages as much as we can. So it'll be a reasonably length tournament, probably something like 2 to 3 weeks, hopefully a solid prize pool. And basically this tournament is all about giving back to the community where we got our start, which was really in the Asia Pacific region with the Gigabyte Dota Masters.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just want to make that next big tournament. I mean, we started in Asia. We're going to continue to do Asian events. It's something we don't want to sort of hold back on. And a lot of people just want to keep having those big tournaments with Chinese as well as the Southeast Asian teams. We'll still be doing stuff in America and Europe, but this reward is basically saying, if we get this funding, we're running a tournament using that as basically to cover our costs for commentators and mostly for the prize pool as well as graphics and videos and all that. It's pretty straightforward. It's basically, hey, we go over by 50,000 and then we'll run a tournament. As for what exactly will be the specific prize pool and stuff, we'll have to work that out once we pay out all the rewards and stuff. But we're really happy to organize some of our own tournaments as well as be covering other people's tournaments.
Yeah, and I mean, like he said, it's not all going to go into the prize pool because we do want to bring, we don't just want to run a tournament with a big prize pool. We want to have great production. So then not only are the teams rewarded for their participation, but you guys are rewarded with a show, with something more than just a lot of great games. Great games are awesome. We want to have always, top tier Dota, but what makes it even that next level of excitement is stuff like storylines and learning more about players, whether it's interviews or highlight reels, all the stuff we did with G1 League. That's the kind of stuff that we hope to do for this tournament, especially in the later stages of it. So some of the money will go towards that. And that's our $50,000 stretch goal. So that's something that I'm really hoping we can achieve. But the one that I'm excited about is the much bigger stretch goal. This is $100,000. I think if we can get $25,000 in the first day, if people really want this tournament to happen, it's clear that it could. And this is something, I'll let you talk about it, but man, I'm really excited for this.
This is, someone asked us in our question and answer session yesterday, well, would you guys ever consider doing a LAN tournament? Or I think someone even said, do you just want to organize your own events? And I said, hell yeah, our goal would be to run. Basically, what was in our mind was by sort of early 2014 to have basically a home story cup for Dota 2. For those of you who don't know what it is in StarCraft 2, they get the players, they get the teams into the house basically throughout the day. It's a LAN tournament, but from a house, the players take part in the casting, having fun, just playing in the games, and just sort of really, it's a very sort of basically a home type feel to the entire event. We want to do that for Dota 2. And when we saw the huge outburst of contributions, we've decided, well, if the community want it, I mean, people are still continuing to donate. We want to make sure that donation goes to something awesome that the community want. In this case, well, what better than a LAN tournament out of our own studio, our own home, where we get the players in. At this point, we're aiming at getting 4 teams in from around the world, and they take part in the casting, the playing, and just providing you guys some awesome entertainment.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just a LAN tournament. First of all, LAN tournaments are amazing in and of themselves, but it's more than just about the great games. It's really about, if you've ever watched Home Story Cup, you'll know what we're talking about. But if you haven't, it's much more about getting to know the players on like a more personal level. Whether it's watching them cast games or even just seeing them playing poker with each other, you know, just hanging out around the house. You know, you see players just having fun, horsing around together. It's, if you enjoy these personalities and you really want to learn more about them and get to know them on sort of a more intimate level, a tournament like Home Story Cup is the way to do it, and it's something Dota has never seen before. Even with the International, you learned a lot about the players, but it was much more of kind of a distant feel. Home Story is a very intimate kind of, you feel very connected and close to everyone there, and if people are in the area, it's quite likely that we could have some people even come by, you know, check out the actual what's going on. I know with Home Story Cup, there's a bar right below where Take lives, and a lot of people basically do a bar craft there, or in Dota's case, it'd be a pub stomp. So if you guys are generous, this is something that we'd love to do, and all of the money past $50,000 would go towards that event. And the reason why it's so much, well, it's expensive. We want to bring players in from around the world, so we want to have at least one Asian team, one European team, and one North American team, and then the fourth one to be decided. I said 2 North American teams, but it's possible they could be from somewhere else. But between flights, as well as putting them up, because they're not all going to be able to stay in the house, so lodging, food, travel is the big one, especially for flying players in, and then the rest of it is pretty much going towards production and prize pool. So we will definitely need all of that money to run this tournament, but if you guys are generous and we're able to do it, I promise you it will be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where we realize if we can get the budget, it's more a budget thing, and that's where this contributions can really just make it all possible, make it all happen, and it would just be probably for us the most fun event of all that we could possibly do. We just want to keep coming up with these cool, innovative concepts. This one less innovative because it's something that happened in the StarCraft 2 scene, but to do it in Dota 2 in a team game would just add this whole new sort of level of interest and just make it an awesome event. You guys have been amazing. I believe the 1v1 match between Fear and S4 is getting about ready. So I think that pretty much sums it up. Thanks everyone for contributing. Head on over to our Indiegogo page if you want the link. There's people posting in chat, or you can just type in beyondthesummit.tv into your URL browser and it'll redirect you there.
Yeah, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Stay tuned. The grand finals of a fistful of tangos awaits. Currently, S4 is coming from the losers bracket. He needs to win 2 best out of 3s. Old Man Fear coming from the winners bracket. Only needs to win 1. Stay tuned for that.